Chairperson of Highway Africa Steering Committee, Professor Herman Wasserman, Executive Director of the Global Forum for Media Development, Ms. Bettina Peters, Mr. Leon Willems, and other members of the Steering Committee of GFMD, leadership and members of the African Editors Forum, the Southern Africa Editors Forum, and the South African National Editors Forum, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Director of Highway Africa, Mr. Chris Kwabacho, representatives of sponsors and donors of Highway Africa and the GFMD, conference keynote speakers, delegates, honored guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Habaria asubuhi. Buen dia. Khotsong. Molweni. Sanbonani. Dumelang. Abshen. Nda. It is a great pleasure for us to welcome you to Rhodes University and to Grahamstown, to Makana Municipality and to the Eastern Cape Province, and to those of you who are here for the very first time, also to South Africa. We welcome you to the 16th edition of Highway Africa Conference and the third World Conference of the Global Forum for Media Development. Our university is greatly privileged to play host to this important gathering of distinguished media researchers, scholars, professionals, practitioners, and journalists from across the globe. We wish to extend a special word of welcome to our friends and colleagues from other parts of the world who are visiting Grahamstown and South Africa for the very first time. To all of you, we extend a very warm South African and Eastern Cape welcome. Namkelekile, khululani bhatyi, nonwabe kunye nathi. For geographical reasons, our colleagues at Rhodes University have to work many times harder than their counterparts in the big cities of Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Durban to attract and host international events of this stature and magnitude. The fact that we do, in fact, host numerous conferences and other high-profile scholarly events with considerable success bears testimony to the quality of the scholars and academics to be found at Rhodes University and the recognition that our university enjoys nationally and internationally. As a 108-year-old institution and the smallest university in South Africa, with a student population of about 7,390, we take great pride in a number of special features that define our university. 59% of our students are women. And this, of course, poses a very interesting social challenge. 27% are postgraduate students, and 20% are international students from some 52 countries around the world. The national linguistic and cultural diversity we have here makes us an exciting and cosmopolitan place. It is also this diversity that creates a vibrant intellectual, social, and cultural environment, which is key to achieving academic excellence. We enjoy the enviable reputation of producing the highest pass and graduation rates of any South African university. We also enjoy among the best research outputs per academic staff member. Some imagine that and like to say that our successes have to do with the fact that we are a quaint small town with very little else to do. And this, of course, is hardly the case. We like to think that our successes and achievements have to do with the fact that as Rhodes University, we have a good understanding of what it means to be a university. And we take knowledge, scholarship, and learning very seriously, and that we work hard to create an institutional culture that embraces academic freedom and intellectual inquiry and debate, and values creativity, knowledge, and scholarship. It should therefore be hardly surprising that our School of Journalism and Media Studies occupies such a special place in South Africa, the continent, and beyond, as an outstanding center for the training and education of top-rate journalists and media professionals and practitioners. This conference, which is in its 16th year now, is a flagship program of the school. From its very modest beginnings in 1997, with about 65 participants, it has grown to become the most prestigious conference and the preeminent platform for journalists and media practitioners and professionals, policymakers, and others to exchange views and reflect on the challenges facing their profession, practice, for their profession and practice in the continent and beyond. On that score, we wish to acknowledge with deep appreciation and gratitude to the critical role played by Professor Guy Berger in steering Highway in its earlier years and ensuring that it developed to the level that it has. When Chris Kwabado became the director of Highway Africa in 2004, he lifted this project to heights it had never reached before. Warm congratulations to Chris and his team for a job well done. Due to time constraints, I'm unable to comment on your very provocative and thought-provoking theme, Africa Rising, how media frame the continent's geopolitics, trade, and economic growth. You will no doubt observe, particularly those who are here for the first time, that South Africa is a country of stark contradictions. You have obscene and unbridled opulence existing alongside debilitating poverty and deprivation. That has to be something very important when you talk about the rise of Africa. I do, however, wish to express my long-held hope and wish that when all is said and done, a new story on and about our continent can be written. We owe it to our continent to write a new and different narrative of the African story, one that does not start and end with colonial and imperial disposition, slavery, disease, poverty, hopelessness, famine, disasters, despair, ethnic violence, despotic and corrupt leadership, but one which says that all challenges and problems notwithstanding, tomorrow is bright with promise. One that proclaims the renewal of our continent, a continent at peace with itself and the world, a continent in which peace and justice prevail, a continent free of hunger, want, and ignorance, a continent in which illiteracy, hopelessness, and despair cease to define everyday existence of the majority of our people. A continent in which exploitation of the vulnerable, abuse of women and children, corruption and greed are no more than a rare aberration. A continent in which every person is able to realize his or her full potential and is able to make full contribution to the betterment of humanity. A continent that is caring, just, humane, and equitable. One that cherishes social justice, advances human rights, and makes manifest the values of Ubuntu, that time-honored African philosophy that asserts that you are because I am, and I am because you are. A continent that upholds social justice, environmental justice, human dignity, and places human development and common social good above selfish and self-serving interests. For this to be a reality, we need free, independent, vigilant, and courageous media, able to hold our societies and our leaders accountable. Media that is able to inform and educate the public. Media that is critical and serves as a conscience of our society. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, once more on behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Salim Badat, and the entire Rhodes University community, we bid you a very warm welcome to this conference. Enjoy our tranquil surroundings and our modest facilities. We wish you a stimulating, productive, fruitful, and successful conference. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Merci beaucoup. Gialebocha. Ngiyabonga. Ngiyathokoza. Bye, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mabizela, for those words of welcome. I would now like to invite Mr. Leon Willems, member of the steering committee of GFMD, to welcome delegates on behalf of the GFMD. Leon is director of Free Press Unlimited, a television journalist